stampers and crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And today is a fabulous Hump Day Wednesday. And today we're going to do something just a little bit different. So instead of having sketches, we are going to talk about a technique. So this technique uses tissue paper. So I have a whole bunch of tissue paper all over the place that we are going to do 3 different cards from, with 3 different tips on how you use tissue paper. So our first one, can you guess where the tissue paper is? Right on, it's in the background right now. Okay, so this is going to be our first one that we are using. Now, let me show you the products. We will be using some Label Me Grateful, the You Are So Appreciated, Charming Day, which also has this fabulous, look at this. Isn't this awesome? And that's what cut out this flower in the background. And it also included the flower on the inside. And I don't think I used this. Did I use this one? No, I don't know why I have that one out. But anyway, it's coming up. So then we also used our Damask Designer embossing folder. And that is all done in the background here. So I stamped this first in crushed curry, and then I embossed it, because I just wanted something in the back so everything just kind of popped out. I am using the Blackberry Bliss and the Mossy Meadow. And I'm using 2 of my small or mini blending brushes. And then I'm just getting everything else out that we need. Let me move this. So, we are using the die cuts. Then we have this fabulous crushed curry. Again, all the dimensions are on the blog. We stamp this, and then we emboss this. This is the inside, okay, and we call that the insert, and then this one is what we're going to do the tissue paper on. So the first thing that we are going to do to let everything dry is that we are going to use our blending brushes. And our first blending brush that we are going to use then is just going to be on the inside. I stamp this in crumb cake. All right, and so all I did was just fill in the sides so it looks like the leaves have some beautiful color to them as far as green goes. Then I am taking our die cut and I'm just coloring these in. Some can be lighter, some can be darker. I'm going to add some more color to these, so then they're a little bit different. Now on these, you have to be careful of that flower that sits right there. So I'm just putting my finger on it so you can't get up and over top of the flower. All right, and that is how I use the blending brushes to color in the leaves. I really like that. I thought that was brilliant. So now we are using our Blackberry Bliss, because I felt like the Mossy Meadow was a lighter color than the Blackberry Bliss. So I'm just going to add that in the center. And that's all I'm doing for this one. So my inside is ready to rock and roll. Now with this one, I tried to go as light as I could. And I'm barely pressing on it. I also wanted to leave some white spots. But then I also wanted to color some of the spots in a little bit darker. So you had a range of color. And sometimes all I did was pat, 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 tap, 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 tap. And that's what you should be doing when you are talking about subscribe and like, tap, 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 like me, like me, like me. All right, so that's all I did for these. And for the inside then, I am taking this alcohol and Winkestella, mixing it up, and then I am going to spray that. Oh, I guess I'm going to spray it on a different piece of paper right now. And all I did was spray the bottom. So you can tell when I sprayed it popped a little bit. And then I sprayed this and just let it pop a little bit. Now we're going to start putting this all together, but of course I forgot the most important part, and that is our tissue paper. So we're going to crunch our tissue paper up, and we just want it to have some ridges around, so there's lots of depth to that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. And this isn't going to be tight, but it's going to be enough where we have some ridges. Then, bringing back in my color again, as I forgot this, I'm going to just use one of these, starting with my mossy metal. And all I'm going to do is just stamp around. Okay? That's all I did. If you want to hold it just a little bit more, you can do that too. But that's my stamping or pressing with some of the tissue paper. And now we have our Blackberry Bliss. And you're just going to pinch it like you're holding on to the back. And let's go one more. And one more. And let's take it up in the corner one more. So that's what my tissue paper looks like. So all I'm going to do is take my tissue paper, throw it in my Stampin' Garbage. And that's all we did with this one. This is so easy. Look at what a fabulous background that makes. I mean, I just think that it looks awesome. Now with this, I am going to just adhere. When I did this, I adhered this with some mini dimensionals, but because it's going to take me a little bit of time to do so, I'm just going to adhere it with liquid glue. But we're going to, before we move on to that, we're going to do our insert. And this is crumb cake. So our card base is crumb cake. And thank you for everybody who was on. I really appreciate you. Whoop, whoop. This we are taking, bringing in our little silicone pad. We're going to rub liquid glue. Again, I like to do liquid glue whenever I emboss. And we're going to take this And we are going to connect it. I'm going to take it to the side. Just press over here. Then I'm going to add dimensionals on this. So this is going to be the only thing I'm going to use dimensionals with on this card. Just know that if you want to use dimensionals with the die cut flowers, go ahead and do so. It's beautiful, and it's going to take the mini ones, and it's going to take a lot. So I want to make sure that I move on so I don't take up all your time when it comes to teaching you about the technique. There we go. And bring back in my silicone pad. And I'm just going to add to this. And I'm just doing the bottom. Please make sure that you try this. This is such a great technique. And there's so many different ways you can add this technique to your stamping. Look at this, isn't this fabulous? So I have that. All I'm going to do is, turn this over. And I'm just going to stick it down on the card. Now you're going to see that the two of these are a little bit different. One pops, one doesn't pop. I think they're both nice. And I like the way that this turned out. I like more of the what is it called? I'll think about it in a minute. The different colors going from light to dark. You guys know what I mean. Lost my words right now. Ombre effect. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So this is our first card. I'm going to move this out of the way. There we go. This is our first card. All right, so now let's get to that second card. And in the second card, it's going to look a little bit different. So this one I just call, masking. And with this next card, it is all about stamping on the tissue paper. So in that, we are using Melon Mambo, Granny Apple, green. We have daubers out and available. We have a dauber that is what I use when I do the glue, the liquid glue. We are using the Petal Pink and White Diagonal Trim Combo Pack. I have that ready. You can see it right here, and I stamped on the ribbon. We are using the flower from Spotlight in Nature. On the elements of text, we are using this round one, and we are also using the crumb cake. On the ribbon, we are using the Azure Afternoon. We are also using the iridescent foil dots, I think. Are they dots? Gems. I have the big stamp so we can place everything that we need on that. So this one, you can either do this with 4.5 by 11 or the 5.5 by 8.5. Again, this one scored at 5.5. The other one is scored at 4 1/4. So it goes in either direction. On this, I did the dear friends from the Spotlight in Nature. And I also did the leaves from the Spotlight in Nature. This is the Azure Afternoon, and this one is the Granny Apple Green. All right, so we're going to get ourselves started. I have just a piece that I am going to place on my card, and this is just going to be a layer. I have this layer and it's a smaller, 1/4 inch smaller than this, but it's going to be large enough for me to put my sheet over. Okay, and I'm going to use that to stamp on. So then you get a little bit of an idea of exactly where do you want everything to be, because we will be cutting it down. Some people fold over the tissue paper. I don't like to fold over the tissue paper because it seems like there is a great big lump that happens, and I would rather just cut it, and when it starts to lift a little bit, then you can put it in you can tack it down with a little bit of glue. All right, so I am just going to keep everything right where they are so I can see. I'm going to get out my crumb cake, take out my large elements, and then I am just going to put it on my block. From here, I am just going to stamp off quick, get this right where it needs to be, and stamp on. Reason that I stamped off is because it's very light, and I like it really light. So that was something that I really enjoyed, is seeing how light that could be. Now, let me see. I got to take this and clean it, because I'm going to use the Asher Blue on it next. All right, so I'm going to just put that to the side, and I will come back with it. And now, with the Spotlight of Nature, I am going to take out the flower. Stick it on, and now I am using my daubers. I'm going to start off with the Granny Apple, and I am just tap, 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 tap. Let me move this out of the way. So I'm tapping it. I'm trying to just make sure that I get all the leaves and all the stems. Now, if you happen to get a little bit of the flowers, that's okay. Just know that everything's okay when you're stamping. All right, so that's our first. And now we're going to add our Melon Mambo. And the Melon Mambo just goes over the flowers. And all I'm doing is just dot, 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 dot. Okay, so that's all we're doing. From here, I am going to bring this back, and then I'm going to give this a huff, the Darth Vader huff. This will moisturize the flowers and the leaves and give you a nice image. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So that's what our image looks like. And if I would have left this at full, it wouldn't have allowed some of the color to shine through. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted everything just to be nice, easy, contained. You got a nice area where you can see exactly where you are stamping in. And that way, then you know when you go to lay this down, you'll know exactly where to lay it down at. I'm moving this all out of the way. All right. You do not want to have any ink on your hands at all when you are dealing with tissue paper, because you will get ink all over your tissue paper and you don't want that. So from here we are going to, you can see that I'm going to turn this over. Some of the stamp went through, some of the ink went through. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and crinkle this up. We want as many crinkles and wrinkles as you can in here. So then we are going to gently take it apart. And then we're going to crinkle it back up again. All right, and now we're going to take this apart. And now what you're going to try to do is just lay it out on the cardstock. And I would say I should have made this just a little bit bigger. But it's going to be wrinkled like this. Now, there are two different ways you can ink up your card base. One way, and you're going to go straight on it, or you're going to go up here on this. Pour a little bit, and you're going to kind of mix it around, and then you're just going to daub the edges. And you want to make sure that you get a good seal around the edges. Those are going to be the ones that lift the most. Okay, so from here, that's one of the first ways you can do this. Bring it back out. I'm going to just turn this over. And I'm going to just start placing this on top. And I want as many wrinkles left on here as I can. And you're kind of pressing gently, but you're also pressing a little bit aggressively. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it's just what happens. And as you can see, this is all wrinkled up. And that's what you want. Making sure again that your sides are pressed down and attached. From here then, you are just going to take your scissors. Let me see if I can find my little scissors. Nope, I can't. And you can do this two ways. You can either cut with scissors or you can cut with your paper trimmer. Either way is great. This I am just cutting with my I'm going to have to go back and take a look at the edges. And again, this takes just a little bit of time. Well worth it. Well worth it. And I like the way that this turned out. You can also have bigger flowers if you want. On here. Now I have a little side that is not sticking down. So the best thing about this is that I can go ahead and lightly put ink on the side. And again, it just goes down nice and easy. And again, you want a little puff, you want as many wrinkles as possible in here. Let me see if I have anything else. And the second method, or this one that I am doing right now, I prefer to do it. Because to me, it just stays down better. Okay, so there you go. So this is all ready. Again, I love white on white. So I'm going to turn this over. Again, take the dimensionals. I like to have this pop up with dimensionals. Go white on white. I like the Melon Mambo on the back. I thought, or as the base of the card, I thought it looked great. And then again, taking off the dimensionals the whole time. And you know, the foam adhesive sheets are great too. So we have that. We're going to put this on. There we go. Isn't that great? Love it. So now, let's go ahead. We're going to put these on. The gems on. I'm going to put the gems on before I do the bow. And I am just going to kind of stick them in spaces. So one's down here, and I'm using the bigger one. One is right over there, and one is at the top. And I may have stamped on the wrong side of this, I think. But, you know, it still looks great. A little bit light, and I think I should have gone over this just a little bit. Excuse me, one more time more. From here, we are just bringing, yeah, I'm just going to bring this in. No, I'm not. I'm just going to stay right here. I brought in my stamp. And again, all I did was I stamped it sideways. And I am just stamping it on the side, and then I turned it over because I wanted both sides to look like they had the blue on it. And again, this is what my, let me wipe this off. That's what my ribbon looked like. And I like to do that because sometimes it looks just really, really classy. And it gives it just a different, instead of just coloring it, it just adds just a little bit of the blue and white that you may need. I like the way that this turned out. And then I just fuss with this. Get it nice and tight. Bring in my glue dot. And stick that right in the middle. Bring in my scissors. And giving this just a little bit of a haircut. And then again, I love my spray. So I'm going to bring that in. And give that just a nice little spray. And it just pops it. I just really like how nice it looks. And again, yeah, I may have to put some more glue on this, but I just think it looks great. I love the way that this turned out. So that is my stamping on tissue paper. And these are the 2 cards. All right, so we have one more to go in our technique. Isn't this awesome? I love that. I love the way that that looks. And our last one. I just have to find the last one. Where did you go? Oh. This next one then is doing the tissue paper around designer series paper. We are using the tradition labels, and I use this label to cut this out, and this is basic beige. Our designer series paper is the Gathering Together specialty paper, and remember, the specialty paper usually always means that there is gold in here. And I think I've used this before. And we have the leaves, and then just a plain old, I think this is in beige. This is, I think, Old Olive. This is Early Espresso. We have more flowers that add the crushed curry. You have the Cajun Craze on the back. This is fabulous with beautiful white and basic beige with the gold. So beautiful paper, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful paper. And then we have our, what is it, Many Thanks on here. And that's from the Gathering Moments. Okay, and again, this one's pretty quick to put together. Again, on this, you can either go with the 5.5 by 8, score at 4.5, or the 4 1/4. It should be, this is scored at 4 1/4, or you can do the 4 1/4 and by 11, score at 5.5. So I also have the basic beige, and this is the bordering ribbon, or the bordered ribbon. Also using the Adhesive-Backed metallic gems, which are the champagne, the silver, and the gold. Yeah. All right, so we got to get everything out. On the inside, I did Expressing Heart. Felt Gratitude. That's again from the Gathering Moments. I did the leaves. One in Cajun Craze, one in Basic Beige, and I did that at the bottom. And I think I did not bring over my Basic Beige. I took that out today. Let me go really quick and get my Basic Beige. I need it. I really do. Isn't that interesting? I can't find it. Yes, I did. Okay. And I have Basic Beige out. All right, so our first big piece that let's save this. We'll save this. Let's go ahead and we'll start with the small pieces. So I got 2 pieces that are the same. And we're just going to give this flimsy Designer Series paper a backing with thick Basic White. And for the most, I use thick Basic White all the time. The only time I don't is when I'm adding an insert. And then I just use the normal. But I really like the way that the Basic White is so thick, and it seems like it colors differently or something to it. I like that. So now we're just making sure that this is going to fit, and I think I'm going to go with a bigger sheet. This is about what you need to do, is have a 1/2 inch on about every side. So the first thing we're going to do is take this, and we're just going to wrinkle it up. And you usually do this twice, take it apart. And the reason that you do that is because sometimes you can get a better wrinkle after you straighten it out, and then you can wrinkle it from a different side. So keep your tissue paper, and colored ones are really awesome too. They fit great on the white, the Basic White. Okay, so here we go. We got this. So now, this is what I like to do. I enjoy doing this, gluing better with this than daubing everything. So you just, whoops, get carried away. And then I just take the dauber and I just run it down. And that's what I like to do. And it will not show on the back. So here we go with this. And again, all we're going to do is place this down. Just give it a nice, gentle, but aggressive on the corner attachment. Now, to me, this is a lot to have around, and this is one of the reasons that I don't always like to put this on the back. Even if you cut it down, it still seems like there's a lot on the back here. So I am just going to cut this. And get out my scissors again. And I don't have it with me on this side. I really like cutting this with a trimmer. It's faster and you get nice edges. Sometimes this can lift your edges. And I think that's why they lift on the sides. When I did mine and I cut them, I don't think they lifted as much as they do on this. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And as soon as this dries, then you can add, or then you can wash it off. See, I have a little bit of glue right here. See, and I like this look, but I wanted to bring out just a little more of the basic beige and kind of, you know, give it a little bit of coloring shading. And so all I did with this is just give it a little rub. And see, you can already start seeing the different colors on the side. Can you see them compared to the other side? Guys, if you have any questions, you should make sure that you ask me. Again, remember, I like likes. I like subscriptions. I like it when you tell me that you like it. I love making cards for you. That's my favorite thing to do. That's one of the reasons that I'm still in Stampin' Up, because I love this. All right, so that's what the color looks like, just to add a little bit of shading to it. Then we are going to glue this or tape. Let's glue it. I don't want to smack. Before we do that, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to do a glue dot on both ends. Make sure that they are on the same end. And I'm just going to try to find where the middle is and just connect this. You probably don't need this much ribbon, but my little dots are glued. All right, from here then we're just gonna go down. This we are going to put on our white. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And we're gonna stick it right on the center. Try to get it as even as you possibly can. Get out my dimensionals again. And connect this all together. My kitties are really, really hungry. They're both in here wondering what's going on. My black and white one, I get worried because when he gets mad at me, he does not, he lets me know. He lets me know by either starting a fight with the other cat or soiling everything. And you can hear that they are already fighting. Alrighty. So now I'm just taking off the dimensionals. Making sure that my leaves are pointing in the direction that I want. I place that on here. Then I am going to take my many thanks, get out more dimensionals, and with these I'm just going to place these one in every corner. And the reason that I want to do that is so if it has to straddle the ribbon, it will straddle the ribbon, and the one in the middle will keep the ribbon down. So that's what I'm doing. And because this is a specialty paper, I really wanted to make sure that there was a gold on it. And it looks like I got something on here. It just may be the brown. But hey, it's a template. Everybody knows it's handmade then. You always want them to be perfect, but whoops, sometimes they aren't. So now I'm going to get out my gold, and I'm using the big ones. And I'm going to put one right up in the corner. Put one on top of over here so we can get some of these veins of the leaf showing. And let's go right in here where the Cajun Craze is. And then we have one more thing we have to do. Yes, sirree, I sprayed this one too. Oh, yes, I did. Because I love that spray. It is just exciting to me. I love the sparkle. I like the way that it just makes everything look fun. Gives a little shimmer to the background. You can see it right along this side. All right, so that's my third card I made. Where you have tissue paper and designer series paper. So now these are the cards that I created today. So there you go. So I love technique, absolutely love technique. So thank you for being with me today, you guys. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Kevon. You can find all the dimensionals or all the dimensions that you need to putting these 3 cards together at ktstamps.com. And again, my motto is creating cards for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate your time. I love you visiting. I like the fact that you give me likes. I like the fact that you subscribe. Again, if you have some kind of tissue paper, design you did before, please share it with me. I love having you share things. So again, thank you for being here with me on this Wednesday. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.